I want to welcome everybody to stage reading of A Matter of Soul. My name is Phillip Weiss. I wrote the play. Okay? And hope you enjoy the show. Now, before we continue, I just want to ask if you have a cell phone to put it on silence or to turn it off. Okay, done. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now, a stage reading is a theatrical production, okay? And as a theatrical production, it involves certain elements. Now, in most productions, especially more expensive productions, you have additional elements such as costumes, scenery, music, you know, all the trappings of theater that a lot of people like. A stage reading really dispenses with all of that and gets down to the two basic elements of theater. There's only two, okay? Everything else is window dressing. Nothing but window dressing. Two elements. The first one is the script. Okay? Now what's a script? A script is a book. A book that contains markings on paper. Okay? And those markings have something called dialogue. That's dialogue. Okay? Very important to remember that. Dialogue. Now, that's good if you like reading scripts. But most people don't like reading scripts because reading a script is very dry, very boring, and it's really not meant to be read because it's not written to be read like a book. It's written to be performed. And that brings me to the second element that's critical to theater, and that is the cast. Now, in my opinion, the cast is actually more important than the script. You know, I believe that most people who are literate can write a script. They want to. They may not believe they can, but if they want to, they can. If you're reasonably literate, you have a reasonable amount of imagination, okay, you can go to your computer and start producing, you know, a copy of dialogue. You make it up, you put it on paper. A lot of people can do that. But acting, that's a real skill, and that's very important, okay? Because without the actor to take that dialogue and bring it to life, the dialogue just stays on the paper. It's just being a bunch of markings, right? Now, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's say, Gone with the Wind, very famous movie, right? Not that many people know who the director of that movie was. It was Victor Fleming, okay? Not many people know who the producer of that movie was. It was Samuel Goldwyn, okay? And these were huge, huge, huge names in Hollywood in the 1930s and 40s. Huge. They were known around the world. They're practically forgotten now. But the people who aren't forgotten and remembered to this day are the actors. Clark Gable, Vivian Leigh, Olivia de Havilland, right? Great, great name. These names will reverberate as long as people, you know, follow motion pictures, as long as there's an American culture. But the names of the director, the producer, the writer, Sidney Howard, he was the writer. Forgotten. Because people don't go to theatrical productions because they want to hear about the writer or the producer or the director. They want to hear the words coming from the actors. So now, I will introduce the actors for this show. So I'm going to step aside, and that's okay. Keep the camera on the actors, and as I introduce your names, stand up and acknowledge the audience. Okay? Francis Rivera. Okay. Sharon Schiller. Okay. Michael Jared Thomas. Okay. And last but not least, the gentleman holding the camera, who you may want to turn it around and actually video yourself if you want. Okay. Josh Lilly. Okay. Okay, everybody applaud. Everybody. Okay, very good. Very good. Now I'm coming back into the scene. Okay, into the picture. Now, I hope everybody enjoys the show. There'll be one brief intermission. Not a very long show, though. All right? Now, regarding the hat, during the intermission, I may explain the hat. It does have a story. It's not a very interesting story, but it's a story. Okay? So with that in mind, I hope you enjoy the show, and thank you very much, Josh.